Why do you think it's harder for someone that's born poor to become rich?
Well, you usually don't have the same opportunity with education and growing up in that community with they're surrounded by people that are poor. So I think it's harder for them to get out of that. You have to be really focused and work extra hard to get out of that.
I think that would be harder because it is definitely more work for them and it's definitely more of a challenge. And
First of all, well, they don't have the same opportunity, the same education, the same people around them to help them, maybe, like the same even mindset or even like idea of what they wouldn't even know like where to start. I don't think, you know what I mean, like when you're used to being poor and not eating big meals, or they don't have the same patterning as people who have had a rich lifestyle. They don't, so it's not in their mentality in the same way, or their upbringing. Plus they don't have the same opportunities, because if you're rich you just get richer, and I've been pretty poor and it's really hard because you just have to work really hard, right? And you don't get as far as someone who has millions of dollars who can just invest it in a stock market and make millions overnight.
I think generally it's harder for someone born in certain circumstances to get out of those circumstances as opposed to someone who's born into like a wealthy family per se. If you're born poor, it's really hard to get that opportunity, to get the momentum to get going in the economy, I'd say.
I think that poor people don't have the same opportunities as rich people have. And the reason for that is education, opportunity. Um, yeah, I definitely think it's easier for rich people to get rich and much more difficult for poor people to get rich.
In the last 30 years, the top 1% of America owns half of the country's stock bonds and mutual funds, while the bottom 50 only own half a percent of these investments. How do you feel about that?
Totally corrupt, and it's horrible. It's not fair. It's I had my own business, and the laws are set up for a small business to like keep them rolling on that level. You can never get ahead. The laws are set up that way, and the taxes, set up to make people richer, rich people richer, and keep the poor down. So I think they should change laws because it's set up wrong.
I think that's terrible. I think that's awful, and um, people need to take their power back and not allow that to happen. They need to fight back.
A lot of it has to do with the knowledge of how to invest. A lot of people don't know how to invest. Personally, I don't know how to invest, so I wouldn't be able to make investments like that. Um, I think generally, in order to get ahead in the economy, have to know how to play the economy's game, and a lot of the people who don't have an education don't know how to do this, and so it's much harder for them to get again the momentum to keep going.
I think that I actually don't have a problem with the rich owning a lot. I think that the rich people work a lot, and I mean, there's of course there's a difference between people that are just born rich and they stay rich. But I think people that work really hard and own that 1%, I think they deserve it. And I think that if people are poor and they don't have education and they don't have the education to be uh, at the same level as somebody who's like a CEO of a company. I don't think that they should deserve to own something like as similar as somebody who's rich. That's what I feel. I don't know. I don't really follow any of that, so it's hard for me to answer that question.
If you had the power to change America's current economic status, how would you change it?
Uh, I'm not particularly knowledgeable when it comes to the way different economic laws and stuff work, but I think generally what I've seemed to have liked to hear is people who have more money should be taxed more money because it only seems fair. But the counter argument, of course, is that if you earn that money, why should you be taxed more for it? Like equal taxation for all Americans. But I think generally, um, just you don't need if you have all that money, you need to at least share it with people who are impoverished. So I think it's part of the American duty is to share your wealth with some of the lower class by charity or donations. And I think more strict tax laws would help do that as well.
Thank you for coming on the show.
I think that, well, I think that what would benefit America is to be a little bit more on a socialist level, like whereas the government and all the people who are paying taxes, being poor or rich or anything, I think if they were a little bit leaning more towards a socialist type of government, it would be easier for all the population because there would be like free healthcare and things like that. I think that's really important. Some like similar like how Sweden does it or like in Scandinavia. I think that works really well. So I definitely think that healthcare is like a main thing, and I think socialism in that way. But then also America is based upon, I mean, the whole idea of America is like freedom and you know, not everybody having to, you know, not everybody having the same income, not everybody having to do the same thing. So in a way, also socialism doesn't work in America. But I think there should be, more things to help the people in general.
I would do a lot of things. Well, being from Sweden, I think that a lot of the things that Sweden did was right, even though it's kind of bad. And the American vision is to be a little bit more on the socialist side of like free healthcare and stuff like that, so people don't have to pay for school or pay for anything to do with health. That the government should take care of that, so people can work towards bettering their lives. Like a little bit more government help in a way, and then also taxing the richer more because it's out of balance, and there should be kind of some more laws in place for, you know, the kind of taxation on maybe making millions of dollars overnight. You get taxed more than if you made $1 million over 5 years. You know what I mean? Some different laws and things would be great, or be like Robin Hood and just go take.
Very interesting question. I would definitely make sure that the people with less money would be able to have more opportunities, and make sure that that was something that they would have the opportunity for. And I don't even know how to even answer this question right now. I feel like bleh.
I would stop taking all the jobs abroad to other countries, have it all here, bring it back here, so people, you know, made in America would be the way to go for everybody. You know, it didn't used to be this way, so it's it's all about bringing the jobs back that they exported out.
You mean
Because of money. The 1% did this to make more money.
do you think it's because of immigration in a sense? That we're losing these jobs?
No, I think this is not about immigration. It's all about this 1%. It's all about profit. You know, they only look at the money and profit, so they close down places and send it over to countries that, you know, don't have the same salaries and things. It's all about money.
Thank you, one more. If I had the power to change the current economic status of America, I would definitely change, like a few other people here have said already, like more like to change it, like to be more socialist in some aspects, like as they said before, like healthcare and stuff, is definitely a big bonus to not like having Americans not worry about those sort of stuff and being more focused like on their lifestyle and their families instead of being so drawn into stuff that maybe in your lifetime you won't even use. So that's something that should happen. Really interesting seeing all the viewpoints of all the people that I interviewed today, and it was really fun making this video. Thank you so much. Bye.